Hi stamping friends, it's Marilyn here with Stamping Creations with Marilyn for your Tuesday afternoon crafting time with me. So glad you could join me, and a couple minutes early, just trying to make sure all my systems are working here, so don't worry if you haven't found me yet. I'll be on here for a little bit. I have a cute little card done with the Freezin Fun stamp set and bundle that I want to show you today, plus a couple other announcements, and just want to spend some time with you. I want to thank you all for sharing my videos and for commenting on them and for sharing whatever designs you make with me. So hopefully we can continue doing that for a long time. So I'm going to try switching the camera now and see if I can get it turned down to my workstation, and we'll have some crafting fun. So that is the back of my, or the other side of my room. And as long as I can get it all set, I think we're aimed at my table, and so far, I'll double check that I'm in the right place, as always. I see Bonnie, you're there, good to see you, or at least see your name, so thank you for joining me. As always, Bonnie is a great supporter of what I do, and I really appreciate her. So, let me see what's happening. Oh, looks like I'm there, and on there. So, for today, to start with, a couple reminders for those of you who haven't joined my newsletter yet. I just want to remind you that I am doing a 12 weeks of Christmas. It's still going strong. We've done 4. Number 5 will be happening tomorrow, and you do still have time. So if you want to sign up for my newsletter, I will put the link in the description to this video when I'm done, and you can join me there. And lots of really awesome things coming down the pipe there. And I would like to ask as well, if you would, if you're making these, if you would share them with me. I would really appreciate it, whether you send them to me by email, or if you post them underneath any of these posts on my VIP group. That would be great for all to see. So that's the first thing. Next is, of course, we're in a new month, so I have a new host code. If you're ordering through any of my Stampin' Up website or my blog, please use the host code if your order is under $200. If it is over, you will get the rewards. And the other thing that started today is curvy celebrations. So available from today, November 3rd, until January 4th, you can get in on this bundle. Actually, there's a couple bundles. It's an early release from the new January to June mini catalog, which makes some gorgeous cards. If you're watching it all on the Facebook posts, there's lots of samples being shown already. I don't have mine there. I do have one live sample that I can show you from a friend. But just to give you a heads up on it, quite curvy bundle, and a bundle again being 10% off. So that one is from $62 down to $55.75. You can see all of the, I'm holding it right anyway, you can see it. All of the stamps, the dies that go with it, and this is the actual size. This is reduced to 60% just so they can show it on their stamp set. And for now only, while supplies last, you can also get a Christmas stamp set to go with that, plus some Christmas classic designer paper in Cherry Cobbler, Sahara Sand, and Shaded Spruce. So great deal if you wanted to get the whole thing. It's $96 plus your shipping and handling GST. Just, I think it's about $105, $110 for the total. But get lots and lots of things there. And recently, I had, like I said, a friend shared a card with me that I'll show you, done with that particular set. So just hold it up a little bit, because I'm better at doing that than I am at zooming the camera. So you can see how quick and easy it would be to cut that with the die, stamp, cut out, and embellish a little bit with sparkles on there. So great bundle. And like I say, it's going to be in the new January to June catalog, so it will be around for a while. So today's project, I have a card that I made with the Freezin Fun bundle. I did show it to you in my blurb, and I did what I'm calling a ribbon belly band to hold it together, because when you make a accordion step-up card, you can see how it is like an accordion and it doesn't stay together very well. The other thing that I noticed after I made this one, and it was from, sorry again, I can't remember, Stampin Gala. There is a website, and I will share that with you as well in the description afterwards. I realized that I didn't have a place to write on. So what I'm proposing to do when I'm doing today's card is I am going to attach a piece of white on the back. It does show through a little bit, but I don't think it takes away from the card. And then I'll have somewhere to write. So I'll show you that on the one I'm going to do. So for now, I'll just leave that little puppy right there, and we will get started. The Freezin Fun stamp set does come as a bundle. Just kind of ignore my half of my sheet here. So these are the dies that come with it as well. So you can see that they're really cute for cutting out these little characters. And that's what I've done. For today's card, I am using Purple Posy. So it's cardstock 10.5 by 5.5 and scored in a number of places, so I get that accordion fold. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5, and 9. So that is our first piece. Then I will need, for the background of the characters, 3 pieces, 4 by 1 3/4. I have a greeting for here, 4 1/4 by 1. And I have designer paper that I'm going to cut 5 1/4 by 1 1/4, which goes across the top. And I need 3 pieces, 3 inches by 1 1/2, which are these. And I want to keep those in order of the designer paper so that when they're on there, they kind of look like they go together. Just realized I didn't have my trimmer over here. So I will get started with the base as usual. So those pieces I am going to fold on all of my, and fold them in and out kind of thing. So they do fold mountains and valleys, hills and valleys, if you want to call it that. But so back on itself, and of course lining it up with the edges, even though I've scored it. I always make sure that I line up the edges. So we had a very quiet Halloween in our part of Spruce Grove. I don't know about the rest of you, but the weather was awesome for the kids, for parents, anybody that was out. How was it in your part of the world? I'm assuming that most of you are from close by here, but I'd love to hear if you're watching from somewhere else. Let me know how your Halloween was, and if you have any traditions that you do for that. So there is the card base. So once that's done, we do need our designer paper, and like I said, I'm going to cut it. So I want it 3 inches. Designer paper is 6 by 6. So if I want it 3 inches long, I decide which part I want. And this one I don't think it really matters, but I'll cut my 3 inches first. And I think I'll use the one with the darker. So I'm going to do 3 pieces at 1 1/2. and try really, really hard to keep those in the right order. And then I need one piece at 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. So I will, actually I'll use the other just on top of that. And it's just to add a bit of color behind your greeting here. So 5 1/4. Just love this paper trimmer with the markings you have, top, bottom, and well, I will need that again to do some stamping. So this piece is going to go on the top, so I can do that now. And using designer paper, of course, you could use either side. Would also look great with the shiny side for all of these, of course, but I am going to start with that. Then my stamping that I did for this is on the 4 1/4 by 1, and I use the words from this stamp set, "Life's better when we're having fun together," because it's a fun little card. So I'm hoping to stamp properly. That will do. And I need little trees on either side. Make it look really like Christmas fun, winter fun for sure. So I'm going to just color the green with my shaded spruce. And I won't, you'll be happy to know that I have colored all of the critters and cut them out already, so you don't have to painfully watch me color, because not one of my strong suits, I don't believe, but I do believe I'm getting better. But the reason I want to do this first is I'm going to add some shimmer, and it has to dry, so I'm going to apply. So just to give you an idea, this is the basket with all the colors that I did use on my characters. So that is going to go on there, but before I do that, I have some of the Frost White shimmer paint. And you could use Wink of Stella, which would brush on, but my brush is not too stiff. I like to add this because it gives it a little bit more thickness, I guess you'd call it, to the snow on these trees. See, I've got a little hair on the end of that. Or I guess if it ends up in the green, it's like real snow. When it falls on a tree, it just doesn't fall on the end of the branches, does it? So I tend to work, when I do things like this, in sections. So this is my greeting section, and then I'm going to let it dry and hopefully not stick any other pieces into it. I keep my shimmer paint, my brush, a spritzer, and a sponge dauber all in the same package so that it's ready when I want to use it like that. So that was my stamping. So now I'm going to take my purple posy pieces I have cut 4 by 1 3/4, and I'm going to adhere my, uh-oh, did something wrong. Did I measure wrong? Obviously. Guess we'll have to figure that out. Those should have been 4 inches, not 3 inches. Ah, well, just so happens. Do I have another? Don't have another identical one to that, but it's not one of those. Well, isn't that interesting? I'm wondering, just because I've got them cut, what are they going to look like? You know what? I'm going to do that anyway. Next time, do as I even wrote it down wrong. Sorry, guys. I'm going to just adhere them to the bottom part because that's what's going to show when the card is folded up. So I'm going to put them down here. Again, trying to keep them in the proper order that I cut them. And this designer paper, Feels Like Frost, is quite forgiving. You can see that those do go together, but it really wouldn't matter if you didn't keep them that way, because it's the ones that it would are the, I don't know if you noticed as I flipped through them, but the scenery ones you could certainly tell. And again, because when they're placed on the card, they are together, but they don't really run into each other. So then what I did on my card, really burnish that. Try not to shake the table too badly. Was I started with this one, and then I put this one, and then the other one in the middle. So I figured, okay, I need it about there. There's where my finger is. There's where I'm going to put my glue. And again, as if you've watched many of my videos, you know that I'm doing it with the liquid glue, so I have that little bit of wiggle room. And I'm leaving just a little bit of an edge, like you do when you're doing cards. Then I need one on there, so I need this one on here. And again, just roughly. And you could, if it makes you feel better as you're doing these, you could certainly use a ruler and a pencil and figure out exactly where you want that glue. But oh, got a little bit on the back. And then my center one. Again, I'm going to measure accurately, right? Any tricks you guys have that you can share with us for how to do this type of assembly? Now here I am making sure that it's not overlapping either one of these. And there is our card base. So then what I did, needed something heavy, and I took my little characters and figured out where I wanted them. You can see I've done some of them with the purple posy. I think that's about what I'm going to do with them. And the other thing you want to make sure is don't have it overlapping too much on the other piece. You'll notice on this one I do have his skis over a bit, but it does lay flat. So to put those on, I did use dimensionals. because you've got, this is thick anyway, so you're not adding thickness to it. And definitely just wherever you would like to place those. They're really cute little guys. And look like they're, you could add little pieces of white to show they're going down a hill. I tend to work, when I'm working in threes like that, I tend to do the two outside and then the inside, so that is what I'm going to do here. And up on the nose will fit. Just. So my dimensionals, popping them up. And maybe trying to make this guy really go downhill. I really don't want him over the edge there, but the other one isn't too bad. And then this little guy, I think I did need some of the smaller dimensionals on him. And his block of ice. Maybe with just one larger dimensional. So once I got done that, because it popped open like, I don't know if you could, yeah, you can see that one. I wasn't overly excited about that. So I decided to put that ribbon on it to hold it shut. So you'll find in this bundle all of these pieces along with the dies, and they make it super easy, especially with the, if you use the magnetic plate that we're now using. So for the ribbon, whoops, I guess I better put my words on first, hey? Pretty much dry, just in case I don't want it sticking, so I'm going to attach it, and again, if you haven't figured it out, I do stand to do my videos. So sometimes my head's in the way, sometimes I don't get things quite straight, not quite as good as if I can get my head right over there and look at it, but that looks pretty straight to me. And I think, like I said in the beginning, I am going to add my piece of white to here. And in order to do that, I'm going to put adhesive just on this piece, obviously. And we'll see if it's going to work. So that one was 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. I did start out thinking 4, but the whole card is just over 4, so it does fit in our envelope. So isn't that he's so cute? So to do this, I started with just my piece of ribbon around and then put the bow on, because I wanted it to be tight enough to stay put and hold it down like that. So I think I'll do the same again with this. So roughly double, should be, oops, run my head into the, oh, way too much. So what I did, I'm going to put a bow in the center. So I held it down run it over about like so. And I'm going to put a couple glue dots on there to hopefully hold it tight. And I don't think it matters which end I put the glue dots on, as long as they are there. Whoa. Come back here. And not like so tight that it's going to pop the ribbon, but I don't want it so loose it's going to slide off easily either. So something like that. And really, if you just wanted to leave that, it would probably work as well, but we've often joked about doing bows with bunny ears. Well, this is it. And because we have a bunny on there, quite appropriate. I find these wider ribbons sometimes don't stay as tight as I like, so glue dots are my favorite, are my best friends for that. So I don't want it too big. And again, tying bows on camera isn't a enjoyable thing, so I am going to just do the best I can. I want to thank Lillian for sharing this design with me. She found it shortly after she knew I'd purchased this set, so it's perfect. Thanks, Lillian, for thinking of me, because there are so many samples out there that I'm sure we never get to all of them, right? So I'm going to put a glue dot there, tack that little guy down, and like I say, because it doesn't, or I don't find it stays as tight as I like, I'll put another one under there. So there is our little character card. So I don't think it looks too bad with the white at the back. You would have a place to write now. And, oh goodness, that bow really needs some fixing. Anyway, you get the idea, and I'm sure you can do bows better than I can with that. So hopefully you enjoyed. Like I said before, I would like, if you're making with me or if you're going to make some, please share them with me. I'd love to see what you have created, and I'm sure everybody else would as well. And hopefully you will do that, and we will see you next week. Take care.